pharmaceutical clock. He don't care whether you've been eating Cocoa Puffs. All he cares about is that you come to him. And he said, if you come to me, I will in no wise cast you out. You can be the worst sinner and still come to Christ, because there is no sin greater than God's forgiving power. If he can forgive the drug addict, then surely he can forgive the liar. Come on, somebody. If he can forgive those who are sexually immoral, then certainly he can forgive those who constantly talk about folk. Let me tell you something. All of us have mess. It may not have been big, it may not have been small, but we've all been in some type of mess. And God specializes in changing our mess into a message, changing our trash into treasure, giving us a robe of pure white. Even when we were dirty, even when we were wretched, even when we felt like we were all that plus a bag of chips, God said, let me tell you something. I came to bust your bubble, because without me you can do nothing. You tried it yourself. You've been there yourself, but you found that every time you tried it, you failed. But I specialize. I can keep you. I can save you. I can heal you. I can do whatever. I can do whatever because I'm God. Let's, for a minute, and I'm going to hoist it on to the close. Let's talk about the problem of suffering. And I would like to suggest a few prepositions for us to consider. There's this ancient question. Why will a good God allow bad things to happen to good people? Let's look at it, first of all, from a biblical perspective. In the fall, when Adam and Eve fell because of transgression, the whole cosmic order began to be disturbed. Man's life had been shortened. Evil then had entered into the world because of rebellion. And because man is a free moral agent. God don't allow suffering. We bring it upon ourselves sometimes. Because let me tell you something. God gave Adam and Eve the ability to choose whether to eat the fruit or not. And they said, well, if it's going to make us like a God, we might as well eat it. If it's going to taste good, I might as well take a little nibble. And so that's the first preposition. It entered into the world because of sin. Suffering entered into the world because of sin. Secondly, God doesn't produce evil. God is, because the Bible says that when God in creation, everything that God made was what? Come on, somebody, what? Everything was good. But because of man's wickedness and because of man's rebellion, again, the laws of nature were disturbed. And so suffering on the part of man is because of his choices. Every choice has a consequence. And so we must suffer the consequence for Adam's rebellion. Does that seem fair? You know, it may not seem fair, but God is sovereign and he already made a commandment. And let me tell you something, God makes a commandment that he expects. He's not going to control you like a robot. Now, in making the statement that God doesn't produce evil or suffering, let me say this: God will permit suffering and evil. And the reason why he permits it is because he sees ultimate redemption down the road. He sees that there's a brighter day coming. And let me tell you something, we ought to grasp God's perspective. Lord, I don't understand why folk are killing the way they are. I don't know why we got a sick government. I don't know why we got people in the people shooting one another. I don't know why we have all these stabbings out here. I don't know why crime is so persistent, why it's constantly increasing. But one thing I do know is that there's a better day coming, and I'm not going to rest until I find that better day. And God is going to make a way out of no way, and all I've got to do is press on and continue to work for God. And no, yes, everything may seem bad, but you've got to understand that God is somehow working that thing out. He's somehow working that marriage out that seems to be on the brink of breaking up. He's working that financial situation out where it seems as if you'll never gain a dollar, when it seems as if you will never be able to do what you want to do. He's going to restore your vision. He's going to restore your dreams, all the aspirations that you've had. If you just hold on to God, God can speak. He can make all things new. Time is pregnant with expectation. That yes, there is some days, there's some hard days, and all we got to do is wade through those heavy days. Come on, just work through it. Just work through it. Don't be discouraged in your well-doing, for in due season you will reap